Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Donna Villa coming to you from Chicago, USA. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. The Ambassador of Azerbaijan to the Holy See has appealed to Pope Francis to mediate in the crisis between his country and neighboring Armenia. While speaking to reporters after the conclusion of the interfaith trip of Sheikh Allahshukur Hummat Pashazade, the Grand Mufti of the Caucasus to the Vatican, Azeri envoy Rahman Mustafayev said that the Vatican maintains good relations with both nations, and so the Pope can play the role of mediator. Tensions and clashes have intensified on the border between Azerbaijan and Armenia in spite of the ceasefire after the bloody conflict in 2020 in the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh that is now under Azeri control. The ambassador also cited the example of Russian Orthodox Patriarch Kirill playing the role of mediator in October last year and bringing together Sheikh Pashazade and Armenian Catholicos Karakin II to sign a pact mandating respect for places of worship, religious feelings, and funerals during an armed conflict. In the U.S. state of California, following protests from parents, the Department of Education has agreed to purge two controversial chants from its ethnic studies model curriculum. Several parents objected to the inclusion of chants invoking Aztec deity Tezcatlipoca, who was worshipped with human sacrifices. They said that the inclusion of such chants was unconstitutional. A new draft notification of the Department of Education states that no ethnic studies model curriculum content should be used as prayer or any form of religious act. The chants triggered a debate on race and identity last year when researcher Chris Rufo reported them. According to the Thomas More Society that represented parents, such chants contravene both the state as well as federal constitutions. Catholics in El Salvador are preparing to celebrate the beatification of 4 martyrs, who include 2 religious and 2 laypersons. On Saturday, January 22nd, Venerable Rotilio Grande, a Jesuit priest, Father Cosme Spesotto, OFM, an Italian Franciscan, and 2 laypersons, Manuel Solorzano and Nelson Rotilo Lemus Chavez, will be declared blessed. The beatification ceremony will take place during Mass offered by Papal Legate Cardinal Gregorio Rosa Chavez, Auxiliary Bishop of San Salvador, in the square of the Divine Savior of the World in the capital, San Salvador. As many as 25 bishops and 600 priests will concelebrate the Mass, which will be attended by 5,000 people representing all parishes in the country. The Jesuit missionary and the 2 laymen were shot dead by Salvadorian troops on March 12, 1977, while they were traveling to El Pasnal, where Father Grande was supposed to offer Mass. The Franciscan was gunned down on June 14, 1980, by an unknown person while praying in front of the altar before celebrating Mass. As Pakistan goes to the polls next year, leaders of the Christian minority in the Muslim-majority nation are seeking reserved constituencies for religious minorities as well as direct voting to give Christians and Hindus a firm political footing. As many as 300 Christians took part in the rally demanding exclusive constituencies in front of the Punjab Assembly building in the city of Lahore on January 14th. Currently, the electoral system mandates that Christians and Hindus elect local representatives, but Muslim political parties select lawmakers from minority communities according to the proportion of general seats they get in the vote. The protesters also sought the increase of seats for religious minorities from 10 to 14 in the 342-seat National Assembly. Samson Salamat, one of the Christian leaders who took part in the rally, said that the present electoral system sidelines Christians politically and socially. American Archbishop Charles Balvo has been appointed as the new Apostolic Nuncio of Australia. The prelate is presently serving as the ambassador to the Czech Republic, and he succeeds Archbishop Adolfo Iliana, who was appointed as the Apostolic Nuncio to Israel and Cyprus and Apostolic Delegate to Jerusalem and Palestine by Pope Francis. Archbishop Balvo has served in the Holy See's diplomatic service for 3 decades. He was the nuncio to New Zealand and the Pacific and has also served in South America, Africa, and the Middle East. Archbishop Mark Coleridge welcomed the new appointment on behalf of the Australian Catholic Bishops' Conference. He said the Archbishop Balvo's appointment comes at a complex and challenging time in the Church and in Australia. Born in New York, the new nuncio was ordained a priest in 1976. In Canada and in the U.S., thousands of pastors preached about biblical sexual morality during Sunday worship in a bold response to the new law in Canada that seeks to criminalize such teachings. More than 4,000 clergymen have expressed support for the response to the law undertaken by the Liberty Coalition Canada. In the U.S., it is being spearheaded by Pastor John MacArthur of Los Angeles. Known as Bill C-4, the controversial legislation came into effect on January 8th after it was expedited through Parliament in December without much debate. The bill describes the belief in heterosexuality and cisgender identity preference as a myth. Preaching or counseling based on biblical sexual morality could invite a 5-year jail sentence. Some critics say that the language used in the bill is broad and could even cover private conversations. Pastors allege that the law could pave the way for religious persecution. It appears that heaven has answered the prayers of believers in Ethiopia as 7 nuns who were arrested by police on November 30th last year have been released. As per Agencia Fides, Sister Letemariam Sibat, Tiblets Teum, Abeba Tesfai, Zaid Moss, Abeba Hagos, and Abeba Fitwa from the Congregation of the Daughters of Charity of St. Vincent de Paul have been released from custody in the capital Addis Ababa. It has been confirmed that Sister Abrehet Teserma of the Ursulines of Gandino was released from detention on January 15th, and she has returned to her community. The nuns were arrested after Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed declared an emergency on November 5th in the wake of intensifying military offensive in the restive Tigray province. The nuns were targeted as they were ethnic Tigrayans, and the police suspected them of supporting the rebels who are fighting for independence. However, the whereabouts of 2 deacons and 2 nuns from Kobo who were arrested by Ethiopian forces remain unknown. On Saturday, at least 10 people were killed in a suspected jihadist attack in Burkina Faso. As per the reports of AFP, quote, unidentified armed individuals carried out an attack on the village of Nansiguam in Bam province, end quote. Before carrying out the hours-long attack, the terrorists sabotaged the telephone antennas, disrupting communication. The source also told the news agency that the terrorists also pillaged the village and destroyed property. Sahel region in West Africa, which encompasses the northern areas of Burkina Faso, is plagued by Islamist insurgents, and these terrorist groups often target Christians and places of worship. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.